All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Deal Podcast with Mr. Cleon Deal.
Hello, I'm happy to be here, guys.
And lover boy, heartbreak, B. Haley. We're back. We're back again, baby.
Of Tampa, Florida.
The saddest.
the saddest of all.
The saddest, the shortest.
Oh, a lot of S's today.
The sexiest. Yeah, we're talking about S's.
There we go, baby.
Throw that one in there
you
too.
Know what I'm saying? Let them know.
Someone complimented me on my eyes today, and it was very attractive female. I was like, "Thank you, baby."
Yeah,
I didn't say that.
You didn't. That's not what you said.
I just said, "Thanks for the kind words."
Golly gee, thanks.
Golly G is crazy. Golly G. What have you been praying about this week, Cleo?
Same things I usually pray about, man. Well, first, it's funny. I put out a song called I Pray.
Okay, so make sure you listen to that.
Go listen to I Pray.
The deal of the day is what you pray about, and you got a song called I Pray.
Yeah, where I prayed for things.
I think the song might be a little.
I get to actual stuff that you probably should be praying about, but it's mixing in and out, but
a little contradictory for the song, but
it's a journey nonetheless.
Life is a journey, and everybody has to be in their own journey.
Yeah, man. We just got to navigate, our thoughts, things that we want, things that we don't want, man.
And be honest about them.
And be honest about them. That's what life is.
Yeah,
you got to be honest with yourself at some point.
Yeah, you got to be honest with yourself first to be honest with other people. And I think that knowing yourself first is the journey.
Right.
Because if you don't know yourself, then you can end up just living this life of who am I this entire time?
Yeah.
And then 10 years, you're 30, you're 40 years old, and you're like, who am I living my life for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out who you are. But nonetheless, you never told me what you were praying about. You just said same things.
Yeah. Same thing.
He has a song called I Pray, but he never.
Yeah, man. What did I pray about this? Main things, for the family, for expansion, for clarity, for guidance,
discernment.
Figuring out what the next steps are going to be in all these different things that I'm into, all the things that we're trying to do here, things I'm doing in my personal life, just guidance on whatever those next steps are. What's right and what's wrong in terms of decisions we should be making, because I only like doing things once. If you don't got time to do it right, you don't got time to do it over. So I don't want to have to do it more than once.
Do it right, do it light, do it wrong, do it long.
There we go, baby.
That was from football.
Yeah, is that what they told you guys? The guy who made you put rocks in your backpack, or?
No, that was the other guy. But Coach Cardi was a G.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's where I'm at. What you been praying about this week, brother?
Good. Jesus, a lot. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about you hear discernment, intuition, like what are those things? So I learned a lot about those things and how they can show up in your body. And then after Bible study, we were talking about Proverbs. But my Bible study pastor, I said something that I heard before and didn't really understand. He's like, Jesus and God are one. I'm like, I've heard someone else say that. It's like, what does this actually mean? So I started researching online, not in the Bible, because it's going to take me forever to actually figure it out. So research, back it up based on what the pastor said. So I learned about the Holy Trinity. So basically that God is one entity and shows up in three different ways.
Correct.
Physical as the creator, God at the physical form, Jesus. That's why he's the only person who's ever lived the perfect sinless life. And then as the Holy Spirit, which is God within you as you walk your walk with Christ.
Correct.
So it was very interesting. It made things a little bit more, or it made things make a little bit more sense when it comes to discernment in the feelings that you can get during discernment.
Right.
So,
okay.
But I don't want to talk too much about discernment, because I do. Discernment actually relates to a little bit about what we're going to talk about. And today's topic is you guys can call it infidelity. I'll call it what it is. It's called cheating. Infidelity in the Bible when you're married, yes, that is a sin.
Mm-hmm.
But cheating before marriage that's not a sin, is it? It's probably looked down upon, but is it technically considered?
Well, technically, right, you shouldn't be in any sort of you shouldn't be having sex before marriage. So depending, I guess, if that's what the
or
cheating
sexual
is,
intercourse, right? Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's already wrong and outside of the covenant of marriage.
Yeah. So I guess so because you do it before marriage, so that technically it is a sin.
Yeah.
And I think the intent has a lot of role. So let's say, I'll just use myself as an example.
Yeah,
I say that I'm celibate, but I'm not going to have sex till marriage. But if I'm talking to a girl that I think I'm going to marry, we're going to do a little bit of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be everything, but so I think the intent behind it, it's not like I'm going to go around, or, now that I'm not talking to nobody, it's not like I'm going to go around to every single girl and then do the same thing with all them too and just not have sex and say that I'm a man of God. I think when you're doing things like that, it's the intent behind it. So if you're cheating, obviously then the intent is bad because you have somebody at home.
Right.
What is your definition of cheating?
See, that's my problem, actually, with the word itself. Number one.
Infidelity, cheating, whatever you want to call it.
But let's get into it a little bit, though, because what I've noticed is as I've grown and gotten too deep into social media, I realized that there's like 100 definitions of what people may or may not consider cheating. And because of that, things have become so subjective and the lines get very blurred about what you should and should not be doing. So I've seen people describe cheating as, anything that you wouldn't do if your partner was there. And I'm like, I don't know if that's true because you were talking to your boys, y'all probably say a lot of things like, this is not how we joke in front of, the girls, you know what I'm saying? It's like
locker room talk.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's not cheating. You know what I'm saying? So there's just a bunch of different things that people have decided to wrap in that, but people have just kind of decided whatever they don't like is cheating. And so that's, it's tough where it is right now as far as universally. Now for me, specifically, I guess it would be in my head, it's always been like the physical act. Really, I understand there's probably some things before that we could probably consider cheating, right? The intentions, any sort of inappropriate conversations, but obviously wherever you draw that line at, whatever your threshold is for that, it varies from person to person. Some girls don't want you joking with another girl at all. And then
that's called insecurity, not cheating. we got to learn discernment and know the difference between cheating and insecurity. And that's what I think that is.
Yeah.
Is this
it's probably moving a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, it's a tough to solidly define for me. But obviously sleeping with somebody else, kissing somebody else, those things definitely cheating. I guess having
definitely a physical act. Yeah.
Definitely a physical act. I guess whatever you have in between there, that's a gray area.
So if it's a gray area, do you think it's something that couples should talk about? Like the definition of what is your definition of cheating versus what mine is? I think
we should talk about everything if you're a couple. So what to you would you consider? It's not what you don't like, not what you, because, but what would you consider actually cheating on you? Something that you feel like would breach the trust in our relationship. That's, I think, a great conversation to have.
There's levels to it. I need this thing to stop.
Well, man, it's not the time.
I need to stop moving.
Stop looking at it.
Yeah, but also, sub note is that this is actually a chapter in John Kim, the Angry Therapist's book. So this was already a planned topic. It's just ironic, the week that it fell on.
Why is it ironic?
We'll talk about that in a second, but God uses me to go through things so that way he knows I can handle these things. And he knows that we can use me as an example to help somebody else.
Right.
All right. Because I'm not going to act out or crash out. I think that's the 2025 term. Act out or crash out over situations that most people might. because you got to stay grounded. and you got to stay patient, and you got to pray. But basically, when is it considered cheating in your opinion? Like, if you're in a talking, so let's say there's a talking stage in all relationships. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, a lot of those.
And most of the time, when people are still young and immature, they'll talk to multiple people at once. I know because I've been there.
Done that.
You know what I'm saying? I tell you what, it never ends out well. So now I'm in a point to where it's only like, hey, if I want to focus on this girl, we're going to focus only on this girl because I don't want there to be any other confusion. And this girl find out I'm talking to this girl, and then she like DMs her or something like, no. That was 3 months ago.
Let them.
I want them to be like, no, that was a year ago. So then like, okay, yeah, I don't want to be like, no, that was like 3 weeks ago. Absolutely not. We're not doing that. So there's the talking stage. But then there's the exclusive stage, which sometimes happens when you either talk about it before the dating stage. Right. And then obviously the dating stage means like, hey, we're together.
Right. But so let's focus on that exclusive stage for a second here, because we
already know at the beginning stage, it's not considered cheating.
Right. But that's
frowned upon, yes, but not considered cheating.
That's where we have a gray area, is this exclusive stage, because without having a conversation, one person has maybe decided that they're exclusive. And then have just assumed that the other person is at that point, and then that's now how they're operating. Although there's never been a conversation for that.
I think you need to have a conversation. If the conversation isn't had, and something happens, you can't. I mean, you really can't ever hold resentment against somebody because that's unbiblical and ungodly anyway. So you got to forgive and forget and move on. But you can't really hold a grudge, or you can't really blame them because you never had that conversation with them. Right. So if it was physical cheating and you never had the exclusive conversation, but you thought you were, then you have two choices. You can forgive them and keep moving forward if that's what you guys decide to do, or you can just be like, oh no, that's cheating, and leave. Right. But you can't really talk bad about them because you guys never had the conversation. Yeah. Now, cheating is basically like when you break the trust boundary. That's in my opinion.
If we've made a commitment to each other, now it's cheating.
Exactly. I trust you. You trust me. If you do anything that's physical, emotional, anything
emotional, right?
Emotional.
What's emotional cheating? Let's talk about
you let somebody else into your life at an emotional level.
What does that mean at an emotional level? What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Exactly how it sounds. An emotional level, meaning that you're not just my friend. You're involved in my life, and I start to catch feelings for you because of that.
So
that's an emotional level.
If you start to like them, but
you know that there might be, let's say I'm dating somebody and this really hot girl who may be my type wants to befriend me. You know, hey, right, I think you're an attractive person. I want to get to know you better. Yeah. If I accept that offer from her, that's the start of emotional cheating, because now I am in a relationship and I'm building another relationship with somebody else at the same time.
What if you tell them that you're in a relationship when you meet this person?
It doesn't matter. You let them into your life with a possibility of knowing they could be what?
But there's a possibility of everybody that you meet that you might end up liking them. So how do you determine that? I feel like
you know if you see the girl or not, or you know if you see the other person. I mean, but if you look at somebody like, oh, okay, they could probably take me away.
So you can't have friends that you find attractive. Finding them attractive.
It's a new friend conversation.
Right. Okay. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. It's a different thing, because you're in a committed relationship, right? So you had already committed verbally to this person. Yeah. Why are you letting in new people of the opposite sex to come into your life that you may find attractive or that you may build a emotional connection with?
What if they're just really funny?
That's where it's cheating, because that's the boundary. And if you cross the boundary, that's where it becomes emotional cheating. We already know what physical cheating is.
Yeah.
But that's when you cross that trust boundary. That's what it is.
Well, actually, let's
all you can do as the other person is trust them.
Let's talk about physical cheating too, actually, because obviously we know the whole, you
that's
sleep with somebody else.
Sexual contact. Contact.
What about other stuff? Holding hands, hugging for maybe a little too long. Are those things cheating?
Everyone needs a good hug. You never know what someone is going through. Maybe they really needed a good hug. No, sexual. Okay. Sexual.
Okay.
If it's sexual contact.
So, but let's think about it this way though. Let's say you're out with your girl. Your girl hugs this guy. And that hug lasts like 5 seconds, and there's like a back rubbing and a spin with this hug.
A spin? Yeah, no. The spin you throw me off. I don't care about no back rubbing or anything else. I'm gonna probably be like, why did you spin for this motherfucker? Like the spin's a little excessive.
Like he picks her up when he hugs her.
Oh, absolutely. That's different. That's different. I'm talking about like a genuine hug, man. And a lot of people need that because life is hard. People go through things all the time. So people need those genuine hugs to pick up and spin around. The dude is trying too hard. I might have a conversation with the dude before I have a conversation with my girl. But hey, dude, why don't you just give her a regular hug, brother? Chill out.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to figure out where we're at with it, man.
Or I'm very analytical. So if I feel like that hug is different than my hug, I'm like, hold up. I start to notice those small things.
So what about like, because there's a bunch of different hugs. So if she hugs him around the neck and his hug is around the waist.
It's not sexual.
Okay.
Cool. Is that sexual?
Because it's different than like we're both around each other's like back sort of hug, right?
No, I mean, I don't think that is sexual because obviously there's like certain, like you give certain people those kind of hugs, like if they're attractive, or you have
if they're attractive, like we just talked about.
But I'm not letting them into my emotional life.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? It's a hug. It's a good hug, and that's all it is.
Okay, good hug.
It's a good hug. Two attractive people understanding that they're attractive and giving a good hug. That's literally all it is. It's not sexual and it's not emotional. You're not coming into my life. Now, if this relationship ends, then you might be on the option. You might be on the draft board. If this relationship ends, you might be up on the draft board. So let me go to my draft board so you know. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm a big proponent that cheating happens in phases, right? You don't just wake up and end up with somebody else, right? So this good hug where we both acknowledge that we're attractive and it's two attractive people hugging, is that not the first stepping stone to us ending up in each other's apartments at some point? Maybe in a year and a half down the line?
It could be. So whoever breaks that boundary is the one cheating. As simple as that. Okay. It's the cheating happens or the infidelity happens after the boundary of trust is broken.
Right. With your partner, but not with them, right? Like with the boundary after boundary is broken with your partner. That person would be
single, essentially, right?
Yeah, sure. Let's say that. Let's say they're not.
Then they cheated too. There's two cheaters at the same time.
Two cheaters if everybody's cheating, nobody's cheating, and everything's fine.
Who though?
Is that not how?
Who said that?
That was math. They two negatives cancel out.
The two negatives cancel out. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So in my situation, I guess I should have, and it would have canceled out.
I'm just joking, everybody.
Hey, yes. Mama Deal with the words of wisdom. This is why you got to be rooted in yourself and in faith and in God. If feelings are involved with a hug and hand holding, you need to question why you're experiencing those feelings. That's what I'm saying. So like, if you're giving that girl a hug and you're like, really, really like it, then it's like why are you feeling that way when you got a whole other girl at home? You know what I'm saying? Then you got to start questioning your feelings.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. If you see that happening and you start to get a little insecure or whatever it may be.
Like, hey, you're enjoying that a little bit too much.
Yeah, hand holding is different. Like if you're interlaced, I think that's a little bit weird. But if you're just like, like I'm not gonna say but I do it all the time. Sometimes like walking girls through the crowd.
Yeah.
They'll like hold onto your hand or hold onto your shoulder or something.
Yeah.
It means nothing. I'm just getting them through the crowd. Or it's like if we have to walk them to the car at night, sometimes they'll like put their arm through like my arm and like loop it up.
Yeah.
It's literally
cool.
I kind of actually feel weird when they do it. I'm like,
they're comfortable.
Yeah, I was like, you're a little too comfortable, a little too quick. But like, all right, we'll just make sure you get home safe because there's a lot of weirdos be walking the streets of Ybor if you guys didn't know.
Yeah.
And our job is to protect them.
Right.
That's why we bring the 9.
So what about like I just got. What about interlocking fingers on a handhold?
Oh yeah, absolutely not. No, that's it. Yeah, we already know that. That interlocking is crazy. No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm having so much fun with this right now, guys.
But,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But let's get back to when you have when you make a commitment to that person, and you say we are exclusive, and you ask them, "Are we exclusive? Is there anybody else?" And then they're still doing it. That's cheating, and that's lying.
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean they're still doing it? Like, did they say yes, we're exclusive during that conversation?
And then they have another, what you call it? I don't want to say it. Another jit,
a side piece,
a little jit, another guy. Sorry, let me calm down.
Thank you. All right, Floridian.
That would be considered cheating.
All right.
So yeah, and I know from personal experience what that is and how that feels. And speaking on that topic, I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not going to not going to do that. But that's what I experienced after, in the talking stage of having a conversation. And I didn't think I needed to have the conversation, because sometimes you feel like you don't need to have a conversation.
Why?
Why
didn't you feel like you needed to have it?
Because it was the girl who you think is different, that can do no wrong. You're like, oh, So I'm so rooted in myself. I trust her. Why would I need to have that conversation?
Well, because you're somebody who's looking to get married.
So yeah. So
that's why you should always have that conversation regardless.
I did. Discernment led me to have that conversation. Because it was little intuitive things that was happening that led me to have that conversation.
Right.
And, obviously I got the answer that I wanted to hear, but it doesn't mean that it was the correct answer
or the honest answer. It is the correct answer, but it's not the honest answer.
It is the correct answer, because in her eyes, it was the correct answer to give in the time that she was thinking or believing, whatever it may be. But as I was talking about discernment and what that is and what that could look like early on in relationships, I think this is important. When you're in a relationship and you have these intuitive thoughts, like you have to listen to your intuition. And what I realized intuition was, because we literally had an episode where I was like, why am I getting anxiety? I'm like, do I have? And I started looking into myself randomly. This is how God works. It's crazy. This is how God works. So she at an event. I'm not going to say anything else. At an event.
Oh, yeah.
In my head, this is when it started. I don't have full on clarity, but I have a clarity from God. The exact time where I started getting anxious. And I'm like, I never get anxiety. I'm like, what is going on here? Now I told you a little bit about it. I'm like, and I'm looking within, like, oh, maybe it's because I grew up with no dad. Maybe it's because I grew up like such a mama's boy and not having a dad to. You start blaming yourself for this. You start to like do the work. You're like, okay, maybe I'm an anxious attachment person and I need that constant connection. Maybe that's what so maybe it's on me. So maybe let me not overwhelm this person because of my own problems. You know what I'm saying? Let me not throw my problems on this person because it's the respectful thing to do. Obviously, that was towards the beginning of it. But come to find out, that's your intuition, and that's God's discernment of the Holy Spirit putting feelings in you that, hey, you need to start paying a little bit more attention. And so I did. I told you some of the things. And I think that we should be careful about what we label ourselves as, because when we start to label ourselves as these things, we start to deem them as normal for us, when in reality, it may not be that. It may be a legitimate thing. So, and that's where it's hard. It's a hard distinction of like, am I tripping or not? Right. Am I being jealous or insecure? But I think if you consistently do the inner work within yourself and you stay rooted, then that's when you'll understand. And I've done so much work on myself to where like I thought this was a moment in my life where I still had to do work, not a moment in my life to where God is like, hey, no, you need to listen. This is what discernment is. Your intuition is God's discernment. Yeah. And hindsight, once I found out everything, this is where it's really important to be rooted in yourself as well, is to not lash out and reach out based off emotion. Because obviously, if anybody ever cheats on you or whatever it may be, what's the first thing you feel? You feel like betrayal. You feel when you find out, you feel betrayal. You feel anger. You feel like unworthiness. You feel all these kind of emotions, and you want to probably say like a million things, but you don't have to. What other people do literally has nothing to do with you most of the time. Because if someone cheats, you want to be like, oh no, maybe I didn't love them good enough. Yeah. But no, this was literally a relationship. Everything was basically done by the book. So I know it can't be me. Definitely not me. But everybody's in their own process and in their own journey. So like hindsight, looking back on all the cues and the little things that happened, and I would ask about, and I would get an answer that I wanted to hear. Obviously, it was like all those little intuitive things, like all end up becoming true, which was told a lie. Right. So it's like, listen to your nervous system when you're with somebody. Like listen to your body talking to you.
I also think you should listen to them when they talk to you.
I do. Oh, I did. What do you mean? I heard everything that I wanted to hear.
Right. But hearing the answers to your questions, but also hearing what they are and are not ready for.
Right. And I tried to leave, and then it didn't.
Tried to leave.
Yeah, briefly. Let me just get my stuff and go. And then, it turned into a whole other conversation.
That's how it always goes, man.
It happens. But when you trust somebody and you think that you got it right this time, you sacrifice some of those things to yourself. And I would always hear, love is patient, love is kind. And I come to realize that, maybe that voice I'm hearing that says that, like, isn't about the person I'm talking to. Maybe it's about myself. You got to be patient and kind with yourself as well.
I also think timing is important because yes, love is patient and love is kind. But when should I be kind and patient and loving? And we have to understand, obviously, when the best time is for you to exercise that type of love. And unfortunately, it's not with every person that you're with, because they're not. You have to love somebody who's deserving of it, somebody who you can trust with it. And so,
but there is no relationship without trust.
I sure, but also that just because there's no relationship without trust, sometimes it just doesn't need to be a relationship.
I mean, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. And that's where, discernment and intuition comes in. So the more you're walking with God, like his spirit lives within us, and he'll show you signs of what you need to see. So just basically listen to the signs. And it's kind of funny because the last time we like physically hung out while we were together, I like made a joke because like I think I said like something about stop acting like this or something, or like give me a better hug than that or something like this, because this is the last day we're gonna be together. Swear to God, it was the last day we were together. I was like, you gotta listen to the way your body feels. So there was this is why it was also confusing for me, and I couldn't discern. I couldn't know if it was like discernment or whatever it might be, is because anytime I saw her, all those emotions went away, like the anxiety went away. So it's like, okay, so this person like does feel like home, like they do feel correct.
Interesting.
Until the last time. There was something in my nervous system that it was still anxious and it would not die down. Like the last 2 days, it was still, I'm like.
But shouldn't the true mark of a good relationship mean that you're comfortable either way?
Comfortable with being anxious around them?
No, I'm sorry. Not being anxious whether you're around them or not. Because if you're anxious when you're not around them and all those feelings go away with you, they're basically like your cigarette or your drug.
Yeah. I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. But everything's a learning process too. And people can tell you what to do, and logic versus emotion is going to win 98% of the time.
The ever-going battle that we fight.
And at the end of the day, we're humans and we want to see the best in people. Well, most of us do.
Yeah, I do.
That doesn't take away from the fact of like, she's still a great individual and there's still a lot of beauty in the soul.
Sure.
It's just a growing process that they'll have to go through. Yeah. And that's her journey. And if something like that happens to you, you just don't need to hold the space for them anymore, but you don't need to hold resentment. You can feel the emotions. You know what I'm saying? You can feel the emotions. Like, it's going to happen, but there's no need to hold the anger or the resentment, because at the end of the day, like, their journey is not your journey. Whatever happened to you is part of your journey, and maybe you should just focus on that. And then what I realized is that, maybe it was something that had to redirect me to stop having idols in my life. Because being a certified lover boy, you tend to what? Put those relationships before God. So it's like, oh, this is what I was doing once again, even though I thought I wasn't doing it. God's ridding me of my idols. And then that was a redirection. Okay, it's like, all right, now we really gotta, this is what you were doing. Oh, this is why we had to go through it. And I didn't know that for a couple of weeks. It's like, why? It's like, I feel like I did everything right. What happened? You know, I'm not going to get too much into the story. There's more details into it, to where, like, other things were said, what that person wanted to focus on and stuff like that. And me being the rooted individual I was, like, I 100% support that. You go focus on that. But come to find out is, you know, people are the same. There ain't nothing new under the sun, man.
People are people, man.
People are people, man. We all got that. And as much as you want to trust, and, you know, things can still happen. You can't let it break you. Like, these things are going to happen. I mean, we talk about it in the Reddit stories, you know, just be thankful they happen sooner rather than later. Because some of them Reddit stories is like 5 years or something. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then the other girl that I met at the club was talking about, hers was like 2 years, very similar situation, where they're like saving sex, still marriage, and he ended up cheating. I'm like, Jesus Christ,
so crazy. Yo, it's like so crazy.
That's crazy to me,
if you
right?
want to tell a girl that you're gonna wait till marriage with her, why are you having sex with other people? Like, there's just certain things like that's unforgivable. Like,
she said she didn't know 100% if he had sex with him. I'm imagining he did, because she told me a comment in a text that she read.
Oh God!
And I'm like,
what was the comment?
I'm not gonna say.
Come on.
I'm gonna say, all right, something about putting a mouth on an inappropriate body part of a female.
That's crazy.
So
come on.
She's more than likely that's what the dude was doing. But it's just crazy that you could say that, man. You guys gotta find Jesus on some of those things.
That's outrageous.
But it's the same thing though. Everybody's on their own journey. Like, this guy may have thought he was ready, thought that he was all out of his lustful mindset. But he wasn't. So it's like, everybody's on their own journey. So you can't blame them. Whatever happened had to happen for whatever reason. You gotta be the person to discern what that reason is through God.
It's just so outrageous.
Oh my God, it was.
It reminds me of the young lady I was talking to you about. I have a conversation with this woman who's married, and the man that she married decided to make the decision after they got married that he didn't feel like he was supposed to be monogamous.
What was that on? On TikTok or something?
No, this was in real life. This was a conversation I had with someone face to face.
Yeah.
That her husband decided that after they got married that he didn't feel like he was supposed to be monogamous, because she's like, he was trying to like sneak around, and I was like, hey, you know, you need to be honest with me. You need to be honest with yourself. And we need to figure it out from there.
Honesty with yourself is most important.
Yeah. And so they had
that way you can be honest with your partner.
They had that conversation. They had that conversation, and they decided that I guess he didn't feel like he was meant to be monogamous. He decided he was polyamorous after they were already married. And
was that his discernment from God? No, I don't think.
I don't know if God talked to him about that.
Absolutely not. That's not in the Bible. Covenant with God is between one man and one woman.
I do know that she is still with him, because she did accept what his truth was. So, you know, more power to her. I can't say I would have made that same decision. I can't say but I'll
tell you what, okay. There was a point in time in my life where that's what I thought I was going to do and be.
You thought you was going to be like a Hugh Hefner? Or?
I swear to God, man. I thought there was a point in my time where I was like, why would I ever just settle for one? It was a point in my time. But everybody's got to go through the journey. Yeah. And now I don't talk to none. It's like, and I'm fine with that. All I need is God, you know, until, you know, hopefully it's always been on my heart and mind that he does bless me with a marriage and a family. But yeah, there was a point in time where This is 2021. I was wilding out. And I just like, why would I ever just...
This is great.
It's like relationships suck so bad. You go through all these emotions, and then it's like, why would I ever just be in a relationship and have all these emotions, and then they leave you anyway? So it's like that was my mindset. I'm like, why just not talk to everybody? What's wrong with that? You're not gonna hurt as much. That's for sure.
Right.
But I promise you, if you keep doing the work, and do the work with it and know yourself and stay true to yourself and stay rooted in God, then when these things happen, you're going to have waves, man. You're going to have waves of depression. Things are going to hit you. I mean, every breakup, no matter how long it is, like, it's still hard to go through.
Yeah.
And then it's even harder when you let go with such grace, and then you find out more information and you're like, so was this even anything? Was this a relationship? Because basically every time I ever asked something, it was a lie, or it was being what's the word, playing victim, trying to blame it on other things. But I would be super anxious and super, I don't know what are the other words, if I was talking to two guys at one time and working two jobs and doing all this other stuff too, I would be super anxious as well. Right. Because it's a lot to juggle. You know what I'm saying? It's one female and one job is a lot to juggle. You know what I'm saying?
It's a tough life to live.
You got the 2 for 2 right there. So that's a real tough life to live.
It's a schedule conflict, man.
But when these things happen to you, you're going to feel emotion. You're going to feel a lot of different emotions. Do not act upon those emotions, because you're just going to look silly. And learn, if you are somebody that you listen to somebody's story like that, and you're like, oh, I would have said this, and yelled and yada yada. And
chances are you wouldn't. First of all,
went to go get my stuff. Yeah, chances are you wouldn't. But also chances are you need to start researching what emotional intelligence is and learn it. That's all I gotta say on that topic. Because bad things happen to good people, and good things happen to bad people, and that's just life. You just gotta keep moving forward. Everybody's on their own journey, so you cannot. That was part of her journey. And whatever reason that God let that happen or made that happen for her, is that is part of her journey. It has nothing to do with me. It did have something to do with me, but it has nothing to do with me anymore.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah, hopefully not. We'll see. we'll see.
I'm too forgiving. Everything, I just put it in God's hands. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Forgive, don't hold resentment. And if it's God's will, it'll find a way. That's all I got to say on that.
Yeah.
Forgive, though.
Cool.
Forgive yourself, too.
That, too.
Also, I know I'm saying what I had a note that I want to say. Without trust, when I said without trust, there is no relationship. That's truth. But what you're also realizing now is that trust also includes trusting yourself and trusting God to show you what you can't see. So trusting the Spirit's whisper over what's going on, over your mind's justifications. Because there was a lot of things where I'm like, oh, this is on my mind. This is on my mind. Sometimes you got to listen to that. So don't just put all that trust in the other person and say, like what I was saying, like, oh, without trust, there is no relationship. Trust yourself too. Yeah. Trust the discernment that God is putting in you, the feelings that you're feeling. Sometimes discernment is loud. Sometimes it's just a little whisper like, hey, you get a little anxiety. I've never had anxiety. Only when I was drinking over 3 years ago, you have that like hangover anxiety. You're like, oh my God. But that was it. I never just got regular anxiety, just like I did like that. And it came in an instant, and it came like I didn't know what was going on. Like I was like chest burning and stuff. I'm like, what's going on over here? So listen to those signs. Trust. You need trust to have a relationship, but you also got to trust yourself as well. So were you about to say a part in the book?
Yeah,
that's what we were actually going to read.
Yeah,
the book
we were gonna. I read some of the book, guys. So let's just clap it up just real quick. One of the things
you read parts of it.
I read parts of. Hey, man, we're skipping around, but reading is reading. Progress is progress.
Reading is reading. Progress. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are with me on this journey.
Start today. Start tomorrow. Start late.
Yeah, man.
Start next week. All you got to do is just make sure you start.
I do want to share, we talked, since we're talking about cheating, there is a chapter in the book on cheating. And obviously, as I do better with this is my bookmark, by the way. I don't know if I ever showed
that
you this.
That is literally insane.
I had somebody put this on my car and I was like, oh, I can use this as a bookmark. And I ended up with this. But anyway.
Yeah, none of that kind of promo on the show.
Oh, yeah, we can't. We're going to have to blur that one out.
I think they're naked at that place.
Are they really? We should never go there.
The last time I went to a strip club was Penthouse, and that was the last night I ever drank in my life. So I won't be back.
Great. Brandon won't be back. I won't be going for the first time, probably. So here in the book, there's a chapter where they're talking about different types of breakups. And this specific breakup is the "you cheated and left me for someone else" breakup.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the tougher ones. I don't know if we should put like a trigger warning on this one or whatever the case is. But in this chapter, they tell a story about the names of the people here were Audrey and Zach. Where basically
otherwise we don't say any names.
Yeah, we don't say nobody's name, but it's in the book.
It's in the book, so it's public information.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But basically, they talked about how during their breakup, he tells her things like, you didn't fulfill me. You were kind of holding me back, and things
tells
of that.
Her, and he cheated,
and he actually cheated. So the way she finds out he cheated, which this isn't funny, but it is funny.
But
get
this correct?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
He told her that. But he's the one who cheated, right?
He's the one who cheated.
Okay, all right, go on. Just want to make sure that part clear.
You're holding me back, but I'm the one doing the bad thing.
Okay.
Interesting how people work, right? But basically, the way that she finds out is that as she's on the way from the apartment that they lived in together, she gets a call from her friend who says, "Hey, did you guys break up?" And she says, "Yes," but obviously this happened that day. She's like, "I think he has another girlfriend." Mm-hmm. And at that point, she ends up getting into a car accident because she slams on her brake and somebody rear ends her.
Yeah, because it's that shock. Once you find out, it's like.
Could you imagine being on the road from getting your things and someone calls it, is she not dating someone else?
I remember when that happened to me. Well, my very first one. Now I'm a professional at going through these kind of things. Dude, the very first one, that's like when she left me for my best friend. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I thought I was going to die. I wanted to tell the world, like, this person sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did this to me. How could they do that? I wanted to play the victim. Now it's like, it's part of her journey.
Yeah.
Thank God for growth.
Yeah. So, so they talk about during this time the inner thoughts of Audrey. Audrey is the one who was cheated on here, mm-hmm. And when he basically told her about how he felt she was preventing him from succeeding, inside basically she's saying things to her like, "All I've ever done is support you, so you don't waste your musical gifts." She took an extra job to pay all of his bills. Mm-hmm. Basically, while he worked on his craft, she was the one bringing in all of the money, taking care of him, helping him basically with just basic life. Went to his shows when she was pretty much the only one there, and mm-hmm. stood by and just to help him with those things. So even through all that, he found the time to go and be with somebody else.
Hey, when you think you got it bad, there's always somebody with it worse. Just know that too.
She paid his bills, washed his clothes, made sure his dinner was warm after long recording sessions, and woke him up with favors. And basically, it's just an insane thing to think that, obviously, because after you get cheated on, it's very easy to think about, what did I do wrong? Mm-hmm. But obviously, if this is and there's always two sides to every story, but if this is the side of the story that I'm hearing, I'm like, that this has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
This one wasn't you.
When you go through a relationship like that and you're not grounded in who you are as a person, mm-hmm. you're going to be like, okay, why, what did I do wrong? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, why did they leave? What did I do wrong? And you're going to hold that kind of like self-guilt of like, what did I do mm-hmm. to make them cheat?
Yeah. And that's a tough thing to have a conversation with yourself about, because what you end up doing is retracing every single step. Maybe I should have said this here instead of this. Maybe when he came to me about this, maybe I should have acted this way instead of this way. But the fact of the matter is that when you're in a fully grown and adult relationship, if your partner has a problem with something that you're doing, they're going to come to you and they're going to tell you in a healthy manner.
Which is definitely what you should do.
Ideally.
Most people, and it sounds like this guy in particular, is they are afraid of confrontation. So he's just doing his thing, and he's probably feeling all these things like, hey, I want her to do this differently, but he's not voicing it because he's afraid of the confrontation. So instead of doing that, he's like, oh, you're lacking here, I'm gonna go find it there.
Which, and that kind of brings up the 80-20 rule that they talk about, is that when you're in a relationship, you're getting 80% of everything that you want. Now you see somebody walking around with 20%. 20% looks really good when you're not getting it. And then you end up leaving 20. And then you start that
emotional cheating, and then that becomes physical cheating.
Right. So you start hugging and twirling and stuff.
It starts with the twirl.
It starts with the twirl.
What's that? Mr. Brightside?
What the what?
Mr. Brightside?
Who was that?
Mr. Brightside? You never heard that? That's an old song.
Yeah.
It's like it started with a kiss.
I have no idea what this song is, man.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Someone chat play the song.
Someone in the chat play the song.
We won't be able to hear. Sorry. I look up the lyrics.
Yeah, that's crazy. So basically she takes a look through all his social media, and it was some girl who had been around, apparently a girl who she's even met a few times, has had conversations with.
This is why. This is why you trust your gut. You trust your gut. Like, grief often shows up in the gut when something's wrong. Like that intuition, that discernment, it's restlessness. It's in your dreams. It's sudden. It's quiet. And when there's a subtle off feeling, pay attention.
Yeah. It's.
I was so literally so accurate in mine. Like everything I thought was like correct. I'm like, no. Can't be. But I'm thinking it.
And I feel you on that. Sometimes
it can't be. It can't be.
No way.
Ain't no way.
What?
Everything to a T. So I'm just like, man, I thank you, God. Thank you for the enlightenment of discernment, because that's a crazy superpower to have.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I could have predicted the entire other relationship and everything that happened in it at every single time it happened. That was just crazy to me.
Yeah, man. We be psychic for real, on the low.
Well, that's the Holy Spirit within you when you're walking with God.
There it goes.
Not psychic, because that's not religious, but
yeah. I got you.
To each their own. Let me just correct you there. Sorry. I'm going through my walk with God, so I gotta be able to explain things to you guys.
So as basically during this process, after she figures this out, they talk about for the next couple weeks about how she tries to cope with what's happened.
Yep.
And so the first thing that she does, like we talked about in one of the previous episodes, you want to get over somebody, go get under. Yep. And she apparently kept getting under people in order to try to make this feeling and this thing go away.
It's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
Nope. You definitely need people to talk to. Trust me.
Definitely need.
I needed people to talk to. I needed people to be like, "No, you're right. You're right the whole time." I tried to tell you. I'm like, "Yeah, you did. You really did."
Yeah.
They told me.
Yeah.
They told me exactly. They told me there's some things they said. I'm just like, "No, her." She's like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I would do in that situation."
Not my baby.
It was one thing that I told Madison. I was talking to Madison because we share our relationship stories. Yeah. And I was telling her, and she's like, yeah, she's definitely doing this. That's exactly what I would do in that situation. I'm like,
first of all, watch your mouth.
I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You're not her.
Yeah, you don't know her.
But she's like a very grounded person and very intuitive as well. But I'm like, no. You post your bikini pictures online.
Yeah, you're a terrible person.
I was like, yeah. I was like, nah, I can't take your advice on this. But she was 100% right. I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't want to believe it, but it makes sense logically. Everything made sense logically.
Yeah.
It's just you get that emotion involved, whatever. But yeah, going under somebody to get over somebody is not the correct
it's
thing.
not the way to go. It's never gonna bring you any real fulfillment. It'll be fun, sure, but it's not gonna undo what's already happened, and it's not gonna help you grow as a person. So since it's not doing either one of those things, it's not helping you there.
No point to do it. It's
So
not even like a temporary satisfaction, because you're gonna do it and then you're gonna get your little quick dopamine hit, but then you're gonna feel sad right away and be like, oh my God, I don't even like this person. What am I doing? And it's like, trust me, I know, I've been there. It's like you're like, oh yeah, it's like boom, it happened. Like, dang, I miss my ex. You're like, oh, get up out of here so I could cry now, because this was so unfulfilling. It's like,
you'll never be her. Get out of my face. Get your hands off of me.
It makes the situation so much worse. So it's like you can't use that to cope.
Right.
Even if you think you're going on your revenge tour, like I've definitely done
revenge tour, baby. Come through Tampa. So during this,
definitely done those. Did a revenge tour after college.
Yeah, we're gonna pray for those women. So during her escapades here, she ends up picking up two STIs. It's just not worth it. Whatever it is,
it ain't gonna make you feel better, and it's crazy out there in the street.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. She ends up buying some books on the law of attraction, trying to manifest him back into her life, because she was just convinced that he was going to come back. And I'm saying this, and a lot of you who are listening, like, oh, I did that same thing. Don't look away now.
I mean, I have tried to do that when I was younger. It's just so easy to like convince somebody to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not that difficult.
I'm great with my words, so it's like, why not just convince them to stay?
Yeah, I know.
Like, manifest them back, and then show up to where they're gonna be at, and then smooth talk them.
Right. I know. I got at least like 2 more times of you coming back before I really got to put some serious work in. I know,
but that never works out, because those relationships are still destined to end. That never works out. Let them go, and if they come back with growth and maturity, then you guys can come into the new relationship as 2 different people. But you trying to manipulate, I've been there, it ends way worse.
And it's also at that point a strained relationship. It's like continually pulling a rubber band, hoping it's going to go back to the small one that it was. But you're stretching and you're straining it, and it's thinning out anything that you guys have. Every time somebody comes back to a relationship after they've been hurt, they're just a little bit less interested.
100%. And that rubber band is eventually going to snap.
Yeah, at some point.
So no relationship at that point.
Right.
Also, Rubber Band by Tate McRae is a pretty good song. Just gonna throw that out there.
Popping out in Arizona, feeling like I'm Tate McRae. Shout out Drizzy. So yeah, man. So as this happened, she ends up picking up 2 STIs. She's trying to manifest them back into her life. She's smoking and she's drinking to try and cope with these things. She stopped eating, exercising, bathing, or responding to her friends' calls and texts. She lost her job as well as a lot of weight and relied on unemployment checks to pay her bills. This really drove her into the lowest low.
Yeah, rock bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've never been to rock bottom, everyone should be there once. And sometimes, actually, come look on it, like the things that I went through this year would be things that I would have considered rock bottom years ago.
Yeah.
But I've already been through it. So now it's just like, I'm just rooted in myself. It's just, hey, life be lifing sometimes. And you just got to get through it, my guy.
Yeah, it's one of those things to where once you get to a certain point in life, you start planning for the lows in it.
Like we talk about storms.
Yeah. So
you just never know when that storm is going to come, and you never think the storm's going to be what it is, and that's the crappy part about life. But the good part is when the storm's gone and you live in sunshine and rainbows and all that, life's good.
Yeah.
That's what we got to look forward to.
Yeah.
The storms are always going to come.
For anybody who's listening and who's especially like younger, you have to have a threshold for those declines. Yeah. You have to have
that's
a threshold.
That's why you have to work on yourself and be so rooted, because these things are going to happen. And what would have destroyed me 10 years ago, it's like, hey, that's just part of her journey now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be able to grow, and you have to continue to grow, because eventually, like, you got to look at these things like, I'm such a big mama's boy, but eventually I'm going to have to bury her.
Why are you doing this? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's something you got to think about.
Sure.
How are you going to react when that happens?
Yeah, right.
You're going to have to do it. Mm-hmm. So you got to be so rooted in yourself to know, like, that's going to be a storm that God forbid, it's not for a very long time that I have to cross. But eventually I'm going to have to go through that storm.
Yeah.
So you have to constantly be doing things to build yourself and to stay rooted in yourself and in God.
Yeah. Yeah. So also during this process, she apparently was obsessively stalking this new girl's social media, obviously, you know, because that's what we do. Zooming on every inch of the girlfriend's face and body, trying to find as many flaws as possible to make her feel better about herself. And that's why, first of all, it'd be so funny because when you talk to girls about, and it's not funny, but it is funny, but when you're talking to girls about the girl that her ex cheated on her with, she's like, oh, that girl's so ugly, like she can and then she shows me a picture and I'm like,
well, you just try to like look at the other person and be like, oh, I'm better than them. But it's like everyone's in their own journey, you know, everybody's their own person. Sure, I'm sure there's some great things about this kid, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's some cool things about him. She's probably a nice person. They probably really like each other, but also trying to convince yourself, because sometimes I'm like, y'all, you're lying to yourself, trying to convince yourself that this person's not attractive. Yeah. And that's like, I get it, because you need it to get through it, and that's what you need right now. But we got, you know, sometimes you gotta lie to yourself to make you feel a little bit better about it. But it goes back to the same thing, like keep working on yourself, keep doing that personal development, because when you're so rooted in yourself, you know, like regardless of who stays or goes, like, you know, what you give, the kind of love that you give is true, and you don't need to hold any resentment to anybody else because they can't receive the love that you give. It's just time to move on. Right. But you do, I think everybody has to go through a similar situation like that to really kind of find yourself, like really break down everything that's ever happened, hit rock bottom, and then really find yourself. Yeah. I wouldn't be this calm. I'll just let you guys know about the situation. It was 6 days ago where I found out that information. So this topic was actually already planned. We were already planning to talk about cheating this week. Which is super ironic. That's just how God works sometimes. And, you know, he wanted to give me that little information and give me a little bit of fire for these episodes. And that's God. That's God. God is going to use me to help somebody else that's going through it. Help them stay grounded and not crash out. Yeah. Because we, you know, obviously we can't have you back in the clinch, man. Crashing out, talking about the other girl like in the book and losing their job and all that. Yeah, we don't need that for you. We need stability. Right, exactly. So with when it transitions to it talks about how this young lady had been through many breakups. But this is the one that kind of really broke her. And then they said it's not necessarily about the cheating, but more so about what the cheating activated. And what it activated was a false belief that she was not lovable. Yep. The false belief had also been the driving force behind her self-sacrificing behavior in the relationship. Because as a child, and we always talk about, you know, everything goes back somewhere. Basically, she was called very awful things by her stepfather, which at that point is where she started to feel like she was unlovable. So now when she gets into a relationship, she tries to overdo it to prove that she is lovable. So I'm going to do all your laundry. I'll pay all the bills. I'll make sure you have a meal. Just love me. So there's a root cause to everything. And she didn't find that out until she had to go through the things. Yeah. But just like she had a root cause in her childhood was like, she seeming herself not lovable. So she had to be even extra lovable and be a people pleaser, which if you're a people pleaser, you're loving the other person. You're not loving yourself. So that's why you got to love yourself first. Anyways, you can't pour out from an empty cup. But the same way she has her story, that guy has his story too. So does he. Absolutely. And that's what you got to understand. This is why it's going to suck. You're going to go through a breakup, especially like if someone cheats, like it's going to suck, but their journey, they got a journey too. Just like you have a journey. And that's what you got to find out when these kind of things happen, or when any breakup happens is, hey, that's part of their journey. This is now no longer part of my journey. Let me focus on what's part of my journey and keep moving forward there. Right. Yeah. And that's like we were talking, like everybody has their own story about why they are what they are today. I'm not saying that you should stay through them trying to figure those things out, but having a healthy understanding of, oh, well, he talked to me about
the things that he had to go through, and this is why he has trouble committing. Now, I'm not going to stay for his trouble with commitment, but I do understand why, and that's part of the understanding of how it had nothing to really do with you. It's really just them, because of the things that they had to deal with, that makes them a little less capable of being there for you and present in a fully functional.
And everybody can grow. We've all been there. Like, I know in my life, I've had trouble committing. I've had trouble speaking honestly, loving deeply, caring, I've done a lot of things wrong to know how to get it right. You know what I'm saying? So you have to go through those. And if somebody's in their own journey, like, sometimes the best thing for you to do is leave them be and find somebody who lines up better with where you need to be, or just be with yourself,
or just be with alone. Yourself. Be alone for a little bit, man.
Be alone.
It's a great place to be.
I hate when people say, "Oh, I'm a relationship girly," or "I'm a relationship." No. You put so much value in that relationship to where you think you need to be in a relationship, because that is what gives you yourself value.
Yeah, you have a codependency issue.
Exactly, which is what you need to heal, which is also a conversation when I had with that other girl about, her cheating situation. I'm like, no, you don't go into another relationship. This is something you need to sit with and heal. You don't go and try and find another relationship. You need to learn, I'm a relationship. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
That's a lie you keep telling yourself.
You can't find value in just you.
And that's what you have to do. If you think you're a relationship person, no, that's not what it is. You find no value in yourself. You only find value in what you can do for someone else in a relationship. And that is a red flag.
Huge red flag.
You got to work on yourself. So
you need to have something without me that makes you happy.
100%. Because a relationship can never make you happy. Only you can make you happy. And that comes from being alone and really learning yourself and getting closer to God.
Yeah. So this transitions to a section, basically, maybe it had nothing to do with you, like we were just talking about. So if you're going through a "you cheated and left me for someone else" breakup, you're going to feel betrayal and rage. You're going to feel shocked and confused. Like the blindsided breakup, it'll hit you obviously fairly hard. And then you start asking yourself questions. What, was it because of me? Maybe I didn't love him well enough, yada, X, Y, Z. But basically it's one of those things where it talks about the difference between somebody cheating on you and the relationship just ending by itself is that it's going to force you to think, that you can basically, it's going to force you to point that finger at yourself. Sometimes it's me, there's something wrong with me, but that's not necessarily always, the case. Like we said, people are going to make their own choices no matter how good or bad you are. Chances are, if they cheated on you, they cheated on somebody before you, and they're going to cheat on somebody after you, unfortunately, because that's a character trait. They don't need a reason to go out and cheat. They cheat because of whatever it is that they are. So let me see here. There we go. So it talked about basically, when she realized the breakup with him was less about losing the relationship and more about her trying to prove she was lovable, she was able to let it go. That's when she kind of changed her view. She saw that what was really happening and why she kept chasing after him. So
that's why it's so, like, self-reflection after bad things that happen in your life. It's so important to have that self-reflection to figure out why. Right. So when I was going through this, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, I'm just trying to think. I'm like, why? I'm like, okay, maybe I was like, okay, this is why you have to talk to people. Like, don't just go around having sex with people. That's not going to do you any good. Yeah. Have connection with people and talk and ask these people. So, like, my barber, who's like my pastor / therapist, I'm talking to him. I'm like, yeah, I don't understand. We did the whole no sex thing. It wasn't lustful. It was loving. I did this, and this. Like, well, maybe it was, you put her before God. And I'm like, no. The whole, when you have idols, you can't love another being or thing more than you love God. And I'm like, nah. I said, wait. Maybe, yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe that's what I was doing. So that's what we try to put on it. And then, I found out the other information. I was like, that's exactly what it is. Because then I was like, okay, now you start to know all the intuitive thoughts that you got that had just been justified. And I was like, okay, here's the discernment. And now it made more sense. It was a relationship to move me closer in my walk with God. And that's what you have. You have to have that self-reflection to figure it out. So it makes it easier for yourself. So you don't crash out. We're human beings that need a little bit of logic. We have a lot of emotion, but we need to make sense of things. And if you can make sense of why something happened for yourself just to move forward, that's what you need to do 100%.
Yeah. When things go bad, at least in my life, I try to figure, all right, so what's the lesson? So, it's like that Denzel meme where you're like, I'm leaving here with something. I don't want to leave here with just sadness and anger. I need to leave here with something that I can take with me that's going to be valuable for me. So what's the lesson here? I always search for that in anything. And it's important, especially in these situations, to figure out what the lesson was. And here her lesson was, I tried so hard to prove myself that I was lovable by doing all of these things, and someone still left me. But she had to realize, obviously, it had nothing to do with her. That wasn't her. So then we transition here to common reasons why people cheat. So you hear a lot of reasons why people cheat in real life.
That's the page I was just on right
now. So Brandon, why do people cheat, Brandon?
Well, angry therapist John Kim, he put just 6 reasons in his book. The first one is anger or revenge. So some cheat as an act of revenge. For example, if one partner has been flirting with someone else, so basically like as a form of payback. So frustration with your partner.
That's like that story that we read where she was like, she gave her phone number out, so he started sleeping with other girls.
That's literally the worst reason. That is very low emotional intelligence on someone's behalf. So yeah, that's just stupid. That's just why you need clear communication and honesty in a relationship.
Get in relationships with good people, man.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
The people that do that one is just terrible. Yeah, that's basically all these reactions to the feelings that are unprocessed and that have not been communicated to the partner. So that's where we always talk about communication is key. Make sure you're communicating things. So if you do see your partner talk or give somebody a weird hug, why don't you communicate to them that, hey, what was this about? Just like when I saw something, I'm like, hey, like, what is this about? And at that point, they'll either lie to you or tell you the truth. Yeah. But you're in a relationship, so you got to trust them. But you got to listen to your intuition and ask those questions. So it's so funny. I watched that clip that we made too, where we were talking about the Reddit things, and we're like, the girl that can do no wrong, right? A girl that can do no wrong. But I'm like, hey, if I have those thoughts, I'm going to ask those questions.
Yeah, as you should.
And that's what you have to do. You have to ask them politely and not like
don't come with an accusatory tone.
Yeah, and don't be like an insecure man. But it's so funny. I was recording that episode in that clip, and I fully trusted, but it was so funny. All the questions I asked, the answers were already in my head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's all I'm going to say out of that part. Falling out of love is another reason why people cheat. So the excitement, passion, exhilaration of the initial phase of the relationship usually fades over time.
The honeymoon phase is over, baby.
That too. But also people's problem is they look for relationships and they think like, I need the spark. I need this spark. Yeah. I need this quick hit. I need the sex to be so good. And I need this spark. And that's what love is. That's not what love is. That's what lust is. So a lot of times people get to those relationships and then they're falling out of love, or AKA falling out of lust, starts to fade. And then they go and find the next spark.
Yeah.
There is like a slow burn is what you want in your relationships. You don't want a quick hit or spark because it's going to fade. You want a very slow burn in your relationship. Take things slow. Those are the ones that are going to last a lot longer.
Yeah. And I think you also have to remember that relationships, just like life, happens in phases. So whatever phase that you're currently in is just temporary. So expecting any phase in your life to last forever, that's a character flaw. You have to get out of that mindset, because wherever it is right now, it's not going like when my mom was here and we were talking, she was like, we always love each other, but there were times we did not like each other.
Yeah.
100%. And that's going to happen.
And that's the commitment part.
Exactly. You have to decide to be there through that if you want it to last forever. There's nobody that you always like. There's nobody. Yes,
not forever. It's going to be something that happens in 5 years. You're going to be like, this is starting to bug me now.
Right. So. Exactly.
The third reason is feeling unappreciated. So obviously we know what that is. We don't have to really say that, but your partner feels unappreciated. The fourth one is lack of commitment. Oh, that's a pretty good one, huh?
Yeah.
People with commitment issues are more likely to cheat in their relationship, whether because they have a fear of intimacy or abandonment, or because they believe the grass is always greener on the other side. Whatever the reason, they simply struggle with commitment. Some reasons for commitment-related infidelity may include difference of opinion about whether the relationship should be casual or exclusive. That's where you got to have the conversation right there.
Yeah.
Fear of committing even to a partner they love. Fear of intimacy, fear of abandonment that leads to not committing for too long or to sabotaging the relationship, not feeling worthy of healthy love, or not believing they can love in a healthy way. So those are all important, because just like I was saying earlier, it's like everybody's on their own journey. So if somebody does something, sometimes it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It could literally be they don't feel worthy of a healthy love, or they're not believing they can love in a healthy way. And I've been there too before. So it's like, or the fear of abandonment that leads to not committing for too long, or to sabotaging the relationship. Like, these are all real thoughts that people have and real feelings that people have. So if they are acting upon those because of their lack of commitment, then that is just part of their journey. It literally has nothing to do with you. So you can't put that as your story. Like, if you love fully and were truthful, genuine, honest, and it still happened, it doesn't have anything to do with you. That's why it could be one of these things. And that's why it's important for self-reflection, just like we said.
Yeah.
So read these kind of books too. Read these if you're a little lover boy like me. You should be reading relationship books as well.
One of the things that I always also go back to is the difference between, I just make up stuff sometimes, but infidelity, indifference, and then being anti-infidelity. When it comes to things like cheating, if you're trying to stay, if you are trying to stay faithful in a relationship, you have to look for the signs before they happen. Like we were talking about, like with the little hugs and things like that, seeing those things beforehand, like this is somebody that I find attractive. Maybe I shouldn't be hugging them like this, and then get out, right? Anti-infidelity. Infidelity, indifference is that you get in there. I have no intentions of doing anything with this person, but I've let this little inappropriate thing continue for too long, and now I'm suddenly in a very compromising position where now I have to say no to the physical thing now,
because you let the emotional in.
Correct. So when you understand, when you see kind of what those starting blocks are on that journey, you got to cut it there or not, and then you see where you end up after that.
100%. The fifth reason is sexual desire. Don't even need it. You guys already know what that is. So
stop being horny.
Yeah, literally. Find God. I mean, I've been in those relationships with girls who their sexual drive was like really, really high. And I would have those thoughts like, oh, shoot, like if I'm not giving it to them, maybe someone else will. So I'll be like, all right, I got to make sure every time they need it, I'm there. But that's not a healthy relationship. As you can see, they all failed. So this is why I tell you guys not to have sex until you're married, or at least wait 6 months, 4 months if you aren't really like that. But just pray on it.
Wait at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh you gotta wait. No, you literally have to wait. Like otherwise, you can fall in love or fall in lust with somebody who has a high sexual desire, and they're going to end up cheating on you.
Well, falling in love with sex is like a whole different discussion that I think we probably need to have at some point. But what's the next one? Yeah, so this is also a good one. Situational opportunity. So if Drake comes in town, that's one of the, I'm just kidding. Infidelity sometimes happens because a partner was in a situation where the opportunity presented itself. But remember, they may also have been primed to cheat for any of the reasons listed here. The situation just made it easier for them. Maybe they got drunk with a coworker who they already felt close to and had some chemistry with. Maybe they were also drifting in their relationship at home. Or maybe they resented or were angry at their partner. Or their emotional needs were not getting met. Like I've been in a relationship like that where it was like situational opportunity. And I was like, all right. Again, none of these are reasons that make cheating okay, but someone who never intended to cheat might do so in a situation. Exactly. And that has happened to me before. I never intended to. It was the really, toxic one that ended up with me going to jail. But it was a situation, and that's what happened. I never intended to, but it was like a very situational thing. It's like, all right, cool. And doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't make it right.
Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean you're a sexual desire habitual cheater either. But someone who never intended to cheat might do so in that situation. Here are some other situational factors that may induce someone to cheat. Being in a long distance relationship.
Oh yeah.
So we already talked about that already.
They're cheating.
Being on vacation. That could happen. So make sure your affairs are in order before your man goes on vacation. Be careful. Wanting physical comfort after a distressing event. Living or working in an environment that encourages closeness and emotional connection. Like all the work events that she was going through.
Yeah. All right. So let's cut it there. Let's cut it
there. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining. This was a very fun topic to talk about. If you have any questions, I think next week we'll touch a little bit more
about the other side of it, how you get it, how you can come out of it, the breakthrough work of getting through that and all that other fun stuff.
Exactly. Any final thoughts that you have on everything that we talked about, from like discernment, intuition, cheating, all that kind of fun stuff?
So a few things. Number one, have the tough conversations. Obviously, in a lot of those situations, the person is going to give you the answers that you want. It's unfortunately, it's your job to discern whether those are the actual answers or not, and make sure that whatever answer that you get, their behavior lines up with those things. Number two, understanding that just because this happens to you, it doesn't always have anything to do with you. Now, not to say there aren't things that you can't improve on. In your relationships. I think we all can improve on something, but sometimes people cheat just because they want to, or just because of one of the many reasons that we've listed here. And it has nothing to do with you. So it's important to understand that self-reflection is important, but you should not blame yourself for the actions of other people, because it's not your job to stop them, but it is your job to figure out where you are, what you can learn from it, and then also to get yourself through that. And also, if you want to get through a breakup, guys, don't go sleeping with other people to do it. That's never going to work.
Unless you're going through a breakup and you're cheating. So then I guess keep doing what you're doing.
Well, yeah. And also, if you're going to cheat with other people in a relationship, because then never mind.
Also, you were talking about the time thing, and it just made me think of a thing. I don't know where I saw it, but the dude was saying, break my heart, but don't waste my time. So break my heart, but don't waste my time. So if you find yourself feeling bad that you're going to break somebody's heart, we are much more better off with a broken heart than wasted time. So go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off if you know it ain't going to work. Get up out of there. Stop wasting his time.
Yeah, man.
Break his heart. Don't waste his time.
I got other places to be, man. Come on now.
I gotta go be with myself.
I gotta go find my soulmate. Get out my face.
And I'll leave you guys with this. Based on everything I was saying and my story, what we went through. Your peace is sacred, and when it goes missing, pay attention, because sometimes the absence of peace is God's loudest warning.
There it is.
And that's all we got for you guys today. Thank you once again for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a comment.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you found value.
Share some of your own stories. Maybe we'll talk about those as well.
Yeah, tell us how you got cheated on.
Yeah, and tell us how you overcame it, because that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's important too, I guess.
Breakups happen all the time. So it's like you just got to realize it's their journey and it's your journey, and you can't hold no resentment or anger towards those people. So love you guys, and we'll see you next week. It was like 6